Hey guys, what's going on? Thought I'd do an update on Nate Baer's Profit Surge Trader. It's the 3rd of March 2024, and I wanted just to reiterate a trade that Nate took on the 22nd of February. So basically he did a webinar, and I talked about this on a live stream recently, but I thought I'd talk about it on a normal video like this. And he basically took a trade, and it was one of the most hair-raising wild rides you've ever seen. With the contracts dropping to almost zero and then flying back up 300% or something, and people were freaking out and making tons of money, and people were stopping out and freaking out, and it was just a wild ride. And so it was on the launch of his new product called, I don't know, Daily Profit Scanner, I think he's calling it, or SAM, S.A.M. And I'm doing reviews on those things. I'm not going to focus too much in this video on that. I just want to focus on AMD a little bit because it was such a cool trade. I mean, it really was. Even despite the aggressive options that Nate took on them. And that's really where the key comes in here, is Nate was really aggressive on the options. He chose options that expired very, very soon. And so they moved really fast. But that means they moved fast up and they moved fast down. So AMD's chart was kind of crazy. I have it up on one of my slides, I think, here. Let's have a look. So I put this together as a Daily Profit Scanner. This is a snapshot from the actual webinar that he gave. I've annotated it here. But basically, this SAM scanner that he was talking about showed an A+ squeeze, which is part of this whole new product they've launched. And he bought calls on air, basically, while he was live, when the stock was trading around $175. And then we have this dip, and this looks insignificant, right? This is an insignificant dip in the grand scheme of things, but if you have really volatile call options that expire very soon, that's a terrifying dip. So a lot of people freaked out, and actually bought the dip. It continued to not show, like it was a bit impatient, so I ended up breaking even with a tiny loss on it or something. Sold in here or somewhere. Wasn't too bothered, but the people that held, this is the daily chart by the way, so the people that held were able to make hundreds of percent. The stock went from 175 to like 220. We'll look at the actual chart in a minute. Actually, this is a 1 hour chart, sorry. This is a 1 hour chart. And so I knew when I saw this pattern, he calls it the Woodpecker Pattern. If you're not a member of Nate Baer's Profit Surge Trader, by the way, go to this article. I'll leave a link in the description below. And sign up for it. It's only $179 for the whole year. This is a limited time deal right here. Just click here. If you do that, you can also then email me. My email address is stockalertsreviewed@protonmail.com, and I'll put that in the description below so you can email me that you've joined. Send me some sort of proof that you actually joined, like a confirmation email or something that shows that you're really a member. And I'll invite you to the Discord that I have, which is growing rapidly. And basically we all talk about his trades and how we're managing them, and it's really interesting and really a really good learning experience to see how people manage these different trades. Some people were taking like small losses, some were making 300%. So like it's really interesting to see. I'll show you what Nate did. He was somewhere in the middle, very conservative trader as he is, and some people were making fortunes on this thing. So some people were losing their butt on it as well. So yeah, it was exciting. So it wasn't an official Nate Baer's Profit Surge Trader trade. It was more kind of aimed at DPL, which is his Daily Profit Live service. It's more aggressive, and you know, I can't really count this as why I haven't added it to my article. So in this article, I've tried to make sure that I put like all his trades in here. As you scroll down, you'll see like I put the screenshots of when he exited and all this kind of stuff. And there's lots of them, and there's lots of videos. It goes on and on and on. But when it comes down to right down the bottom here, I haven't included the recent AMD trade. And that's because it wasn't an official Profit Surge Trader trade. Amazon was the last one we did, and then we're in some PLTRs for this coming month. So I haven't included it in the article, just because it wasn't an official one. I don't think it's fair to put it in, despite the fact that it was a massive winner. I'm not adding it to the track record here at all. This is the chart of AMD on the daily chart. What a beautiful chart, right? Over since November after earnings, just this grind all the way up here. And of course, putting things into perspective, you start to zoom in, you start to realize how small the moves are, like on the chart, but how scary the options can actually be. So what options did Nate do? Well, if you look at the Nate Bear's Profit Surge Trader dashboard, this is where he goes live every Monday. If you join the service, you go live here, and he has his little face down here. And he does his charting up here, and he draws on the charts. He talks about everything. It's really good, really easy to follow, really detailed, really nice. I really like it. And so you can see on the right here, Amazon was the last one I recorded. But you can see here he's saying in the afternoon, this is on February 22nd, that he's buying AMD calls. And this is because the daily A+ setting on SAM was setting up really nicely on the squeeze. I could show you SAM. I think I'm logged into the command center. I have access to most of these different things. We go here. We can look at February 22nd. So it's cool because you can kind of go in here, set this up to here, go to February 22nd, and it shows you what was all going on with the squeezies. I'm not going to go into all in this particular video, but for this particular one here, you can see AMD is the second one from the top, and it was like 8A plus at the time, which was really cool. So he basically looked at this, and he looked at the chart himself, and that's one thing that you have to be able to do, is you have to be able to look at the chart yourself. That's where Nate's experience comes in. And he decided that AMD calls were the way to go. Now look at this though, this was on February 22nd, he only gave himself to March 1st, which was a couple of days ago, for 195. So that's pretty volatile. Like, it's not long, like, that's, it's not a long expiration. And so he bought 3 of them. He's a very conservative trader. At least he's kind of like for demo purposes more than anything else. He's a multi-millionaire trader. He traded 37,000 to a couple of million or 3 million or something over the last 4 or 5 years. Really chilled out. And he bought them for 159, and so like they rocketed. I think they're over 10 or something now, ridiculous. But of course he didn't hold them that long because none of us know when exactly a stock is going to actually like stop going up. So yeah, so he actually added on the dip, so he was very convinced that the scanner was right and that his TPS, or trend pattern squeeze strategy, which has become his like trademark, was correct. He actually averaged down massively, so these things dropped, and this is what got people really worried. If people were chasing, these people were in at $1.59 or $2 or something, and when this dropped to like 69, people were freaking out. So he added to this. This is his strategy. It's just he knows like these squeezies and things take a while to work and things, so he didn't seem particularly worried whatsoever. So he brought his average to 0.96, and like I said, it's like $10 each now or something ridiculous. So he did end up closing them out for so he had it again actually here at 0.15. So you can see people are like, this trade is dying, like this thing is going down. And that's because the time was running out, right? Theta decay was really killing. This was February 27. Only a few days left until expiration. So he added more, and people were like, oh my god, these are going to expire worthless. It was quite the saga. It was quite the world, right? And you don't see this in PST or Profit Surge Trader usually. This is just from a webinar that he did promoting his new SAM scanner. But people that were in that webinar were also given this alert to Profit Surge Trader, so they took the trades. So anyway, I don't want to show you all the calls that he did. Just want to show like his exit from AMD right here. Try not to show you this week's calls. Don't want to be like giving away his proprietary alerts too much. So you can see he was able to squeeze out a 25% win, which is very conservative. He goes, I truly think this goes higher. So like this is the funny part. On February 29th he wrote, I truly think this goes higher, but I'm about to get on a plane, so I'm going to book the profits. Look at this. This is February 29th. If we go over to the chart for AMD, February 29th rocketed, but he was at like early on that day. So we had this February 22nd call. It started to die, 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 which you could call a bull flag, right? Like this is actually a bull flag pattern. It was also in a squeeze, The pattern is a much longer daily squeeze as well, but you can say it's kind of bull flag. As soon as this gapped up and started to move a bit, he got out for a profit because he'd averaged in more than he wanted to, I think. But the people that had kept their cool, and the people that like thought, you know, I can hold this, they held this all the way up to like here, and these calls became, you know, like absolutely ridiculous. Like, I mean, they 10x'd. So really cool trade. And so people started to say, hey, I really believe in Nate at this point. The pattern wasn't anything in particular. It was kind of just like this move up, this consolidation sideways. Big squeeze starting to really build here. So you kind of knew there was going to be an upwards move. And this could still continue up from here, which will be really cool. This is the daily chart, by the way. So yeah, it was epic. I haven't included it in here because it wasn't specifically a profit source trade one. I don't think he'd have done it for that because it did seem a bit risky doing it that early. And he kept adding, which is, some people hate that, some people love it. It means he got out the trade for a 25% win. But I have people that were telling me they were getting out of this thing for 200% because they loaded up on this dip. Again, it's all about scale, right? It doesn't look very much. Like, it looks like, oh, it just dipped a little bit and then it ripped up to the upside. This is on the 1 hour chart again. So yeah, pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. And so for this trade, he basically had this scanner, which is this new SAM scanner that he has, Daily Profit Live Scanner. And he uses it because it makes his life easier. It basically measures the trend, and to make sure the trend's going up, it makes sure that the 8 EMA is above the 21, is above the 55. If that's the case, then that's criteria for this particular setup. So that's the T out of TPS that I keep talking about if you're not sure. I've asked people over and over, I've done a poll in my Facebook group. Everybody loved Nate's stuff, especially Profit Surge Trader, because it's only $179 for a year. And so I asked this guy recently, I said, you know, how are you finding Nate's stuff? He goes, I've been trying different services over the years and so far it's the best. And I'm like, same here, because it is. It's really good. If you're buying options, there's other things you can do, like selling options with thetatraders.com. I'll leave a link in the description for those. I think these two are complementary. I think you can build a small account fast using Nate's stuff that I'm talking about now, and then start moving money into thetatraders.com, where you can build like more passive income without worrying too much. I've shown tons of testimonials over the last few weeks, and people have been signing up left, right, and centre for this. Vincent is awesome. He said he joined the service, he recommends it. Nate comes across as a good guy. It's because he is. He answers all questions, comes up with winning trades, very patient and humble. I like the platform, live chats, all the chat manuscripts. The reasoning behind the trades is very good. I agree. He looks at more than just one thing, which I do agree with, and people make money with it. It's very reasonably priced. I totally agree. It's $179 which for a year, which is pretty much nothing. This is a quick screenshot again of AMD's squeezies at the time roughly. Looks a little different from what I showed you earlier, but it was squeezing on the daily, squeezing on these different time frames. I'm going to do a whole thing about this squeeze scanner thing that he has. I've been playing with it for a while now, so I'm going to talk more about that. But this guy said in the Discord, which by the way you get access to if you buy Profit Search Trader through my link, which is a referral link right here up at the top of the article. There's many links you can do, but the top one's probably the easiest, right? Just go to the article, it's the first link in the description below. Sign up here and send me a screenshot showing a confirmation email or your dashboard or something. And I'll add you to the Discord, because the Discord is proving to be really, really valuable for everybody involved, so I think it's cool. Anyway, this was another Discord quote where the guy was like, wow, I sold my AMD options and made 250% on it. So you can do better than the guru. So he was 10 times, or well, not 10 times, but 3 or 4 times what Nate made on it. And he's like, no way I thought that would happen yesterday. Fair play to Sam and Nate. I totally agree. Fair play to them. They did a great job. It was fantastic. So, yeah, really cool. I'm just going to show you a few more testimonials and then call it quits. Just want to show you other people that are doing this, because it's easy for me to sit back and you'd be like, oh, Russell's just some YouTuber that, you know, promotes stuff or whatever. But I want to make it very clear that other people are really enjoying the service and really finding it useful and profitable. Here's another guy, really like this guy, he's in thetatraders.com. Again, can't say enough good things about that. You check that out in the description below. But he's also in PST, which is Profit Surge Trader. And so he joined on February 4th, which was about a month ago. And so he's saying that he has made about $1,299 using just $2,500 in buying power, which my brain's a bit fried today, but what's that, like half? 2,000, yeah, so like half. He's made like 50% on his buying power. Oops. Here's a trading log. You can see different trades, the current money and everything. If you want more details, if you're still doubting that this is a program that might not work for you, you can email me. I'll make sure I put my email in the description below. And just be like, hey, prove it. Like, you know, because there's nothing to hide here. This is the real deal. People are making real money and people are really loving this service. So just kind of scroll down a little bit more. This one I'm saying, the first subscription that I bought that actually paid for itself in its first trade. I bought the Amazon call at discount Wednesday, sold it at 60% profit, then bought back at the AMD call on Friday, sold the same day for 10%. I like the trade streaming as it's very easy to follow, but I can't seem to find the day that he sends them out only times. Bought a couple of cat calls, 167, blah blah blah. I belong to both Profit Surge Trader and Daily Profits Live. Daily Profits Live is like the more aggressive, more expensive service. I'd be more profitable with my Profit Surge Trader. I can see why. So he says, I missed out on some great trades in DPL, but I've made money, but it's more fast-paced and less conservative. I lean towards bigger positions in Profit Surge Trader and peace of mind. That's how I feel, so I agree with these guys. Joined DPL, made 300 my first day. I have both. I got into DPL after making more than enough to cover the cost of DPL, which is $2,000 or something ridiculous, from the Profit Surge Trader service. So people are upgrading their services based on the amount of money they're making from Profit Surge Trader, which is amazing. So yesterday seemed a bit chaotic. DPL probably works better if you're a full-time trader, that sort of stuff. People saying Nate Bear's on fire. And that's it. So that's all I wanted to show you. That stuff. So I think that's all I've got to say. I don't want to do too much about AMD because although it's just like a beautiful example of having faith in your trades, like having faith that it's going to work out, Nate always had faith throughout this trade. Even when we saw this dip, which is nothing really in the grand scheme of things, this dip from the 22nd down to here, he still had faith, and sure enough his strategy paid off. And the people that got shaken out down here were probably kicking themselves seeing this thing away up here at 300% profits or something ridiculous. So it's really good. So it's just really nice to see a strategy pay off with that dedication to it, you know, which is really cool. So yeah, so final thoughts are, I'm going to continue to review Nate Bear's Profit Surge Trader. We're in several trades. PLTR is a freebie I'll give you. It's the earnings winner for the month of March. So if you're looking to trade PLTR, based on the fact that research has shown that these surprise earnings winners often grind upwards for the rest of the month, timing your calls is going to be difficult. But Nate's an expert with his TPS system, and that's where the value for Profit Surge Trader comes in. And so joining that helps you like reduce the burden of trying to like figure out what you're going to do if something gaps up after earnings. So he's combining this gapping up after earnings, which is a cool strategy because it's likely to go higher, with his amazing technical ability with TPS. So I'll keep you guys updated. Every week I'll try and do a review like this on what he's done and what we've done, what I've done. And this article is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger scrolling through here. One thing I want to mention is there is a 365-day no questions back, no questions asked, 100% money back guarantee, which is pretty much unheard of in this business because that's, I mean, they're already losing money on the product, right? They're selling it for $179 for a year. It takes more than that to acquire a customer, and then they're so sure that this is going to be satisfactory for you guys They're offering a 365-day, no risk, no questions backed, 100% money back guaranteed. And these guys are the real deal. They have a proper legal team. They operate properly. They're not some fly-by-night company. And they honour the word. So I think that's really cool. And you can see a lot of the testimonials I was talking about here. Also some other stuff about Nick Bear and other stuff that I've been reviewing and working on as well over the last few months. Anyway, hopefully that's helpful. I don't expect to see that many AMD trades. I don't want to see AMD trades in Profit Surge Trader. I'd prefer 30% without the 90% drawdown. Like, that's my style, and I think it's probably a lot of your guys' style as well, right? You don't want to see a 90% loss before it goes to 300% up. But that was a unique situation with a unique ticker, a unique situation, a unique launch that they were doing for a scanner. And so I hope we don't see that again anytime soon. I hope you guys have a good weekend and enjoy the market starting tomorrow morning. I'll talk to you guys soon.